I'm Benjamin J. Myers. I'm the author of The Bad Tuesdays, which is a 6-book sequence, and the first book in the sequence is Twisted Symmetry. There may be all sorts of ways the books could be classified. Someone may say they're adventure stories, someone may say they're science fiction, someone may say they're fantasy. All I would say about them is they are imaginative fiction. But I think one important aspect, and this is why they don't just fit straightforwardly into any of those categories, is that for all their outlandish elements, they're rooted very strongly in the real world. A lot of the excitement in the books comes from taking real people and real situations and then transposing them in perhaps slightly more fantastical settings or having unusual happenings occurring in them. So what's taking place is sometimes against a very imaginative backdrop, but sometimes it's against a backdrop that is quite real world based. Without a doubt, the driving force behind the books are the 3 main characters, Chessbox and Splinter, who are there in one form or another throughout all of the books, and the stories follow them. And one of the things that has drawn me to them as characters is that you have this situation where there's an enormously powerful organisation like the Twisted Symmetry, spanning everything, and ultimately set against them are these 3 highly disadvantaged children, loaded with what might be seen as antisocial traits and problems, in a massive position of weakness. And it's very exciting and leads you to wonder how are they going to cope with the situations in which they find themselves. But of course, what happens is aspects of them that might be undesirable, say in our society, become very valuable once they're actually pitted against the Twisted Symmetry. So for example, because they're street rats, they're cunning, they're fast, they climb walls, they can hide well, they can fight quite well, all things which make them unattractive as conventional members of society. But it's those sort of abilities which assist them when they have to face the situations in which they find themselves with the Twisted Symmetry and the various adventures that they get sent on when they're used by the committee. But at the same time there's a real tension, because there's no getting away to some extent with the characters inside them, which can be very flawed at times, which lead them to make the sort of bad decisions which create problems for themselves. It's a constant tension between what they're capable of doing and then the ways in which they undermine themselves as they're getting there. Now, what happens in the stories is that they do have to deal with the difficulties that they face, and gradually they work towards a conclusion. And without wanting to give too much away about it, all of them contribute in the ways that they can to what happens in this. Now, it's not always straightforward, and anyone who knows children like this, and I've spent quite a lot of time with children like this, will know it's a serious business and nothing is ever very straightforward. But it perhaps is fair enough to say they get there in the end.